You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Another special episode in our COVID-19 kind of opportunity crisis series, crisis series, however we want to look at it, right? There's a lot of stuff going on these days. And what we're trying to do is help all of, help you as contractors or as business owners to build a knowledge level and to be able to make it through on the other end, right? To make it through this and to thrive on the other end. So I have a special guest on today with us. I have a gentleman with over 30 years in commercial lending experience, specifically also, or in commercial lending, but also specifically with a great detail of experience around SBA lending and SBA disaster relief funding. So I thought this was an extremely timely topic for everyone. As we go along with this process, and get through this crisis, there are going to be ways that you might be able to fill the gap a little bit with your cash flow management. This may be one of them. So I'd like to introduce Jason Kohl from Kohl Capital Associates in New York City, probably on lockdown right now. Jason, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your experience in this type of situation.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here and spread the word and just be of service to anyone who needs help. My background, like you said, is commercial lending. I've been in banking, independent business ownership. My specific background after Sandy, the hurricane that hit here in 2012, I was brought on by the SBDC, Small Business Development Center here, to work on the grant program and the loan program that was providing the disaster relief for businesses who were knocked out of business, basically. Yep. The economic impact of that and physical impact was tremendous. So literally in 2.5 years, I worked with at least 400 business owners, providing the capital and assistance that they needed, and really navigating the program, navigating the disaster relief program that we're witnessing right now, that's in place on a massive scale. So I stepped up and I am helping clients with that, giving them advice on how to get access to the SBA Economic Disaster Relief loan at the moment.
Great. And that type of experience is very essential in today's world, right? So that unfortunately you have to have that experience dealing with these disasters, but for everyone listening, there are people out there that can help, like Jason. So make sure that you're you're taking every opportunity to reach out to individuals like him and getting the facts, right? Getting what you need. So in normal business, Jason, there's the SBA, what is it, the 7A loan? That's kind of the most common SBA type of loan out there.
Yeah, they call it the cornerstone. The main SBA program is the 7A guarantee program. SBA lenders make the loan to a business owner, and the government guarantees it. Basically, the SBA steps in and say, we will back you up if the loan, something goes wrong with the loan.
Okay. So an example, so if somebody defaults on the loan, that's when the government steps in and kind of fills that gap of what's owed on the loan, things like
Correct.
that. In normal times, what do they provide as that? What kind of gap do they fill? What percentage? Is it 20%? What part of the loan do they guarantee?
Depending on the situation, it goes anywhere. It's in the loan type. of SBA. There's different categories of 7A.
Okay.
So it could be anywhere from 50% to 90%.
Okay. All right. And now, so what's the difference between that traditional Cornerstone program and what's out there in these crisis time periods of the SBA disaster loan?
Right. So the SBA is they have their rule book, so it's many hundreds of pages long, of course. So 7A has a rule book, and
Yep.
the disaster loan program is already in place for any disaster that comes up. I mentioned Sandy. People might be familiar with local flooding or things that go on that require these type of funding. So they take the rule book off the shelf and deploy the system, deploy the programming. In this case, it's just a massive scale to deploy the program and the rules. So the basic program is really great relief, and we'll talk about economic assistance. So provides working capital needed for a business to get through the crisis. What does that mean? So pay the rent, pay off, keep their debt obligations up to date. They may have, whatever bank loans they have, whatever equipment financing they have in place, leases they have in place, whatever business obligations, fixed cost obligations, they can maintain those, and with this support, accounts payable, things of that nature. So in the program, the loan amount goes up to $2 million, and the pricing typically right off the bat is the rate is 3.75. And the payback period, the amortization is up to 30 years. So
Okay.
that's the general structure of the program.
Okay. And when I know usually these loans become available in localized areas, like when Sandy came through, or if there's a flood out in Iowa, or a tornado in a certain, in Alabama or something like that. How is this being deployed currently in the current market right now?
Right. Well, I don't know if if everything is in the country is declared a disaster yet, but I do know it's opening up. The program is designed to open up wherever there's a disaster declared, county by county. So New York, Northeast, where we've been declared, and it's wide open over here.
Okay.
There's a big list. You can go to SBA.gov and see what the declared disasters are, and to see if your particular county is eligible. Depending, and I can't account for every county in the country, but there's a big list. List.
So I'm just flipping. I just pulled up the website to see if there was anything on there, any recent updates around COVID.
There's a lot of information at SBA.gov regarding COVID, loan program, and other stuff besides the loan program. It's worth noting emergency preparedness is important. We were reminded of that after Sandy, and much of my work with the Small Business Development Center was, once they got the grants and loans and everything else and getting back on their feet, how we help them stay in business and prepare for the next eventual event.
Yeah, definitely.
Not knowing it would be this type of event, but
exactly, not knowing it was going to be this is a different one, right? It feels different. It's not. It doesn't. A hurricane coming through, or a flood, or things like that. It just has a different feel than this.
Yes.
The financial crisis had a much different feel than this.
Mm-hmm. Did.
So with these, we're, first of all, you have to be in an eligible disaster loan area, and I'm pretty sure that they have declared COVID a national disaster now, and so I think that they're making these available on a national basis. So I know you assist your clients, on a regular basis in putting together the necessary documents to apply and qualify for these loans. Can you speak to that a little bit about what businesses need to put together to, as a package and have ready to present to the SBA in regards to this?
Sure, be glad to. One thing I must say is this time around they've really streamlined things. You do not have to upload as much as you used to in the first go around. That's not to say that they won't ask for information later, and that's where it could get tricky if when you got to gather more information. So
Yeah.
what you do need up front is three things. One is your latest tax return or a financial statement. So, for example, you want to see the tax return or financial statement for the 2019 fiscal year, calendar year that just passed. And that's one thing you'll be required to upload. Another thing required to upload is a personal financial statement, which is basically a snapshot of you personally, every shareholder of a company. If the company is one person or three people that own 20% or more, each shareholder submits a personal financial statement. And that is an accounting, a snapshot of personal assets and liabilities, and just a snapshot of your personal financial condition. The third item that gets uploaded in the first go-around of the application is a business liability schedule. So a listing of the business's debts. What do you owe the bank? What equipment financing you have? Vehicle financing, things of that nature. Does not include accounts payable or things like that. It's just your debt. So that would be the only uploads. And a variety of questions get asked through the application process. If it wasn't so glitchy right now, it's because of the volume that goes through the system. It would probably go a lot faster. But you just answer the questions about your business, about the data of your business, and the different elements, different partners, different affiliates that you might have, other companies you own, things of that nature. And it's kind of walks you through. It's not that difficult to go through the application, the online application yourself up front.
Okay, and like you'd mentioned, that the system seems to be a little overloaded right now.
Yes.
Most likely, we've heard the same thing about the state's unemployment insurance websites and things like that. Because we're in the middle of this, we'll all have to kind of be patient and work with what's going on right now.
Yes.
So it's gather the right financial documents together. Put the right package together. Are there specific qualifications in regards, do you have to have a certain amount of gross income? Do you have to, or revenue? Can you speak to some of those qualifications, or how does that go in the qualification process?
Right. Well, the one thing I could say is that there's always a caution to when the SBA is reviewing the case, and based on the rules, you don't want the company to be overburdened with debt. So they examine how big the company is, how historically profitable it is to pay off the debt, and what kind of debt you have already. You don't want to overburden the system, so to speak, with excess debt, and really help the company with just more debt.
That's right.
But in this particular program, there's they're really looking at what kind of fixed overhead do you have that needs to be paid going forward for a little while this is going on, to give you the support necessary. What's your rent? What's your payroll? They really want to keep people employed, so maybe help support the payroll. That's kind of the thought process this go around.
Yeah, that's a big thing this go around. For everyone that's had to lay off or furlough any of their employees, it's a tough thing to do. And so to be able to have that assistance is going to be that'll be an amazing thing for you and your employees, and
right.
the goodwill that you can instill in your employees that, hey, look, we're doing everything we can to keep food on all of our tables.
Right.
One
little side note I wanted to mention that made me think of this. One of the messages out there is, to employers is stay in touch with your employees and kind of treat them with compassion, because everyone's going through a lot.
That's right.
I could share this as an idea. One of my clients who has, I think they have 12 employees or something like that. They've actually initiated a newsletter to keep in touch with their employees, giving them information, giving them feedback, making them continue to feel like they're part of something and part of the family, so to speak, and go forward and stay in touch.
Yeah.
That was kind of an interesting development there.
Yeah. I've had this conversation with a couple of people, and I'll tell the story again. I told it on the last episode of this of the COVID Opportunity Crisis podcast, but it was Sunday afternoon, and I just I needed a little more information, so I threw on the television and popped on one of the news stations, and there's the empty podium, right? The camera pointed at the empty podium with a countdown clock. That here come, the president is going to speak in X amount of time regarding the crisis, and my wife walks through the living room and she said, "Oh, they're doing another press conference," and I had a thought. I had a thought about communication, and it's like your level of communication has to exceed the fear in whether it's your customers or your employees or whatever it is, right? If you can communicate to them more often and in as many ways as possible, it's going to help alleviate their fear, right? It's going to help them, understand that, hey, my job isn't going away. It's just a temporary situation. Or for as a customer, hey, maybe we can't have you come out and do our, replace our roof right now because of the restrictions that are put in place in our area. But we'll be able to get that done as soon as this ends, right? And it will end. Going through some disasters, being around the disasters. I'm sure that the weeks following that hurricane coming through, there was some people that were very, very worried, right? And so, but what does that area look like now, right? There's been a lot of recovery in the area, right?
It's a rebirth,
right? So we always have to think of those types of things that, we have to come out of this in a much better way. Going back to the qualifications, are there any specific credit score requirements for the owners of the business?
Well, there's no explicit score ever mentioned by the SBA in any of the rules, but it's a subjective thing. And there's questionnaires, like if you owe back taxes, let's say, and you don't have an installment program, that's going to be questioned.
Yes.
If you've defaulted on any other federally guaranteed debt, that kind of puts you in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Things of that nature, and those is a series of questions in the app that ask all that, vet that all out.
So it's not specifically, hey, you have to have a 680 or above FICO score to do this. It's more of an all-encompassing look at your business, the debt that you have on your business, and what your business will be able to handle going forward as far as taking on that new debt. Okay.
Sure.
Any requirements on time in business?
Time in business, the basic rules of the disaster program say you have to be a year in business.
Okay. 1 year.
So will they change it for this program? I don't know, because you know what? If somebody started in business on January 1st, they didn't just start. They spent a lot of money for a year and a half getting ready. And they just happened to open up their corporation, January 1st. So personally, I would make the case that was eligible. In my mind, I'd make the case and see if we can get that money for those.
Definitely.
That type of situation. I had that situation.
Okay.
Gentleman was he spent 3 years preparing to open up a commercial bakery, and he did so last May. Not quite a year, right?
Yep.
But if you but the letter of the law says he's not eligible. But I would make the case that that is certainly eligible because he spent an enormous amount of money to get that to the point where he was employing 13, 14 people.
That's right.
And so that's what I would do.
So even if you've been in business for under a year, make sure you give it a shot.
Make the case.
Right? Make the case. If you need to, if you need to, especially in these extenuating circumstances, right? There may be, the rules may change through this process.
Yes. That's very possible.
So anything else that you've heard on the front of anything else that's becoming available or might be becoming available? What are you hearing in your, from the banking commercial lending side of things?
Well, yeah, I keep in touch with the SBA lenders, and we get some feedback on. But we all see what's happening in Congress right now. They're ironing out a plan of action with this bill that's coming forward. Part of the bill has the new program put in place for additional relief. Call it the SBA relief program for this purpose here.
Okay.
It's basically a modified 7A program that is geared for this particular disaster. That will, it's different from the SBA disaster relief program. It's already open. One of the ways it's different is that it's the distribution channel, so to speak, is through the banks that already do SBA lending. And the SBA disaster loan that's open right now is directly with the SBA through their website. That's the one major difference. The current SBA disaster program goes up to $2 million. The new program that's coming out, hopefully it comes out, it's planned to go up to $10 million. So that'll take care of much larger they're all small businesses.
They're all small businesses.
Small business need $10 million.
Yeah.
Relative to the size of that small business.
Yep.
And that's it. So there's a lot of other little details that really aren't fact yet. So I'm not going to even speculate.
Yeah. So Congress is working on the bill. We're of course we don't know exactly what's going to come out of the other side. There's definitely negotiations going on behind those doors. So hopefully there'll be more and more of this available. More options available to help businesses, maintain during the crisis and have that, what we look at is thriving coming out of it, right? That's
right.
There'd be a lot of opportunity, for your business out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
The effort is there. I think we're all trying to pull in the same directions. If we all do that, we'll get through it. Definitely.
Any other advice that you could give businesses through these hard times?
Well, I encourage, it's a weird world. Everyone's working from home. Business owners are confused, so stay in touch with your trusted advisors. That would include your CPA, that would include your banker, your lender, that would include anybody you rely upon. The phone rang because I'm an SBA lender, and he wanted questions and help, and I'm there to help because I'm the topical expert, so to speak.
That's right. That's why I reached out.
Glad to help.
And so don't hide from this as business. Don't hide from this. Face it head on. Yeah. We're in challenging times, but it's this is the time to step up.
Yes.
And you might have to make tough decisions as you're going through this process, but at the same time, be proactive in keeping your business alive.
Yes.
And getting through this. And
people have to call. Stay in touch with your landlords. Rent is coming due.
Definitely.
Don't hide from that. Call them, address it, figure it out. Because by the way, tell your landlord that they can also apply for the SBA disaster loan as well. They're eligible, and landlord is eligible for lost rent.
So not only
give your landlord that tip.
That's right. So not only can you be maybe asking for some relief from your from your lease, you can provide them with some information that, that might help them in their business, because
Right.
Most landlords are small business owners themselves, or
Right.
that is their
Right.
small business, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Stay in touch with customers and vendors during the process as well.
the communication, right? The communication is going to
Communicate, stay in touch.
it's going to be crucial.
Don't hide.
Don't hide. Jason,
Especially you can't hide if you have multiple, if all your employees are working from home. But if you're a sole business owner, and it's very easy to get kind of lost in the shuffle, and so just stay in touch with the world, and
Definitely.
don't forget about the business, and just like I said, stay in touch with your
Definitely
trusted advisors.
How can people get a hold of you if they need any more, if they wanted to have a conversation or get more information about what you can do to help them out?
Well, email is a great tool. I'm at Jason Kohl at kohlcapital.com. That's JASONKOHL at kohlcapital.com. People could call me as well, 917-405-4808.
Jason, thanks for your time, man. Do you have any social media? Do you do any social media stuff?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn pretty actively.
LinkedIn. Yep.
That's how Jim found me here.
That's how we connected, was on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Sure.
So
that's a great tool.
Yeah, check him out on LinkedIn. Jason Kohl, CCIM.
Right.
Is a title it's a commercial real estate. Designation, right? Yeah, CCIM, commercial. What is it? Certified Commercial Investment Manager?
CCIM is a Certified Commercial Investment Member. It's part of the National Association of Realtors.
Yep.
And it's a level of expertise in commercial real estate and commercial financing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's something like 30,000 CCIMs in the world. So I guess it's this gives me a different perspective on.
That's right.
Gives me a good perspective on situations. That's all.
Great. Well, if anyone needs to know more, reach out. Your local banks that do SBA loans will be able to help you here. Jason, if you need any more information, reach out to Jason. Reach out to us if you have any questions. And this has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.